Hey everyone, what's going on? Happy 4th of July weekend. Hopefully everyone's having a good, safe time out there. Some nice fireworks displays. I'm out here on Long Island. Really nice professional displays. And a whole lot of a whole lot of people going out, probably heading up to New Hampshire and doing their own thing. But, last night was, I'm doing this here on the 5th. But the 4th of July weekend is all weekend. Happy birthday, America. And what better way, apparently, to celebrate the 4th of July on the 4th of July than waking up at 5:30 in the morning, turning on the WWE Network, and watching for the first time a live WWE program from the land of the rising sun, Tokyo, Japan. They had, on the 4th of July, the Beast in the East, Brock Lesnar, making his return, his first match in the WWE since losing the title at WrestleMania 31. It was basically a house show. No elaborate set, nothing like that. It was a 2-hour show. And as much as originally, to me, it was almost hyped like an NXT special. Then they moved it to Brock Lesnar's big return. Then it became this whole big thing. There was 5 matches. I'll just run down the card real quick. We had Chris Jericho versus Neville, Triple Threat Divas match for the Divas Championship, Nikki Bella, Paige, and Tamina. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. The NXT Championship, Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. And then in which I didn't even think he was there, but in a tag team main event, John Cena and Dolph Ziggler versus Kane and King Barrett. First, the matches were great. We'll get into that in a few moments. Just the fact that they broadcasted this, I would have to say, is monumental. They've done, and it was even pointed out during the show, they've done broadcasts, Raw and SmackDown, from England, from Italy, from Japan. They've done it from Japan before. But they were never live. They always tape delayed. They used to show the live UK-only pay-per-views like Rebellion and originally No Mercy, stuff like that. They used to show those live at WWE New York, the restaurant in Times Square that, for those of you who don't know, now is at least last I remember, I haven't been to the city in a while, but it's a Hard Rock Cafe now. But they used to show them live, but normally we would get the shows on tape delay, which in itself is fine. But now that the WWE broadcasted live from Japan, just let alone outside North America, it shows they can do it. And they did it very successfully. There was no issue. I only had issues, but I think that's just me and my internet streaming at my Roku stick and then my Apple TV. But once I got past all that happens every once in a while. The feed was clear. There was no delays. It didn't seem like there's any delays, especially between commentary and the matches. Michael Cole and Byron Saxton did commentary. Clearly, first of all, they had to have been live commentary. I'm assuming they were probably in Stamford because they were not in Japan. They weren't ringside or anything, which is fine. That's okay. No big deal. Personally, all right, look. I'm not a Michael Cole fan. I am not a Byron Saxton fan. Nothing against these people personally. Their way of calling matches. It's not, I'm used to Jim Ross, Joey Styles. These guys know how to call matches and tell the story at the same time. But it's a different era. It's the Vince McMahon era. Personally, I feel like maybe they should have gotten the NXT guys to do the commentary. Or maybe, Tom Phillips and Corey Graves. That would have been sweet. And you know what? I'm going to say, I was on Twitter. I saw the feed. And I even spoke to a couple people on Twitter who, normally very, smart marks, very critical about the product. But even they said that Cole and Saxton did a great job. Maybe just me being me. I like JBL. I think he adds that realism and that off the cuff that you need. But listen, besides that, showing off without a hitch. 2 best matches of the night. First, we'll start with Chris Jericho and Neville. This match was very, I mean, Jericho, he's been doing just the live events. He hasn't been doing TV, no pay-per-views. I'm kind of surprised he did the special, but I guess that's something a little different. They went at it tooth and nail, a lot of high-flying spots, with which the Japanese fans love those high spots. And, you know, look, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to go back and forth with the move list because it's going to be boring to you, because it's one thing to listen to it. It's another thing to actually watch it. So, of course, it goes without saying, get the WWE Network. It's free for new subscribers. Even not, it's only $9.99 a month. Even if you watch nothing else but the pay-per-views, it is worth it. In any event, Chris Jericho and Neville, Jericho has done many, I think he said like 20-something tours now of Japan. No, 40-something tours of Japan. Those numbers somewhere along those lines. So the Japanese love Chris Jericho, Lionheart Chris Jericho. Adrian Neville I believe he started his career in Japan, but he was very popular in Japan. And these guys just really, I mean, two faces, especially one guy who's a part-timer, which is fine. Jericho, showing up to the house shows, that's fine and all. I'm a huge Chris Jericho fan. Chris Jericho is the best in the business today, whether he's in the ring or out of the ring. They definitely almost stole the show. But the match of the night, in my opinion, and the whole reason for this whole special, in my opinion, NXT Championship match, Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, Fergal Devitt, whatever you want to call him, 8 years of his career. And if you saw all the documentaries on the WWE Network about the Demon, Finn Balor, 8 years he spent in Japan with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was instrumental in starting the Bullet Club. He was a baby face as could be baby face, and as heel as could be a heel. And the Asian market just loved Finn Balor. So I feel it's only fitting that Finn traveled to Japan to fight Kevin Owens. Now, again, this is the second time. It's not the first time. This is the second time they fought each other for the NXT Championship. Kevin Owens, Ring of Honor, I don't know how many times they may have went over at that point in Japan, but it doesn't matter because Kevin Owens is the best heel in the business today. He knows how to get the crowd riled up. He knows how to shut them down. And he knows what to do, what to say, when to do it, and when to say it. A few false finishes, which I'm always a fan of. I'm going to yell out spoiler alert here, and hopefully you saw the spoiler alert in the opening, in the description here. And by the time I post this, hopefully those who are listening to this podcast have already watched Beast in the East. But Finn Balor walked out, deservingly so, the new NXT champion. Finn Balor put on a show. Kevin Owens put on a show. And first of all, Finn Balor winning the NXT title, that's going to elevate NXT even more. I think they need this babyface as NXT champion for a lot of the heels to really go after. Kevin Owens dropping the title, pretty much, I feel, and I remember this is, if there's going to be a spoiler, it's going to be after the fact, after I watch it. Otherwise, I don't read the dirt sheets. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Everything I say, remember, is my opinion and my thoughts. But Kevin Owens, I'm pretty sure, is now going to the main roster. With him dropping the NXT title, that opens him up to the main roster. And at Battleground, Kevin Owens is challenging John Cena for the United States Championship. And I'll be shocked if Kevin Owens does not walk out of Battleground, the new United States Champion. And we'll get to that next week when I talk more about Battleground. But Kevin Owens coming in 2 months to the day of debuting, won the NXT title, and then became this dominant bully champion, which NXT needed. It's with Owens. If Owens is going to go to the main roster, his whole deal with Samoa Joe, I guess, is going to fizzle out. Samoa Joe better make it to the main roster sooner rather than later. But the only problem I had going into this show, Beast in the East, last week on NXT was a tag match. Balor and Joe versus Owens and Rhino. If you want to call it the go-home show, you can. But long story short on that one, Finn Balor pinned Kevin Owens in the tag team match. It was Kevin Owens' first loss in NXT. I felt that took away just a little bit, not enough to ruin it, but took away just enough, just a little bit, from Finn Balor finally conquering Kevin Owens in Japan. Personally, what I would have done is either have, if you want Samoa Joe and Finn Balor to win, have him pin Rhino. Don't pin the champion going into a show like this, like Japan. I know it's not a pay-per-view, but it was big enough. Or, what I would have done is probably have Kevin Owens beat Finn Balor, which is fine. Have the challenger have that stack built against him going into this title match. I think then at that point, with Finn Balor finally conquering Kevin Owens, conquering the demon, his demon, if you will, that would have put just a little bit more love on that title win. But cast that aside, I'm just one person. I'm only one member of the WWE Universe. That being said, though, Finn Balor now is your new NXT champion. And as it was announced as well, for the first time ever, NXT TakeOver is leaving Full Sail University. And unfortunately for me, it is going to the Barclays Center. It will be NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, New York, live on the WWE Network the night before SummerSlam, August 22nd, from the Barclays Center. Tickets go on sale on July 18th. I, a few months ago, already bought tickets for the same night, same time, for Ring of Honor in Brooklyn, New York as well, at MCU Park. So, and shame on me. I should have realized they would have done it. Maybe not. I didn't think they were going to do TakeOver, but I should have realized that they were going to do an NXT show in Brooklyn. Should have waited before I got the Ring of Honor tickets. Nothing against Ring of Honor, don't get me wrong. Love Ring of Honor. I haven't seen an NXT show live. Especially now if it's going to be on the network. And since I'm already going to SummerSlam, I'm already going to Raw, which is both at the Barclays. I would have been awesome to go to 3 WWE shows in a row, all at the Barclays. But here are my decision as to why I'm not selling my Ring of Honor tickets. First of all, Ring of Honor, they put on a fantastic show. I've only been to 2 Ring of Honor shows. I've been watching their pay-per-views, but them live is awesome. They put on wrestling shows, really. I mean, there's storylines, but now that Jay Lethal is the unified world and television champion, they only announced one match for Field of Honor. That's what's called Ring of Honor, Field of Honor. The Briscoes versus the Time Splitters. So I don't know what the title match is going to be, but I kind of feel Ring of Honor may try and step up their game just a little bit now that they're literally competing on the same night with WWE. So unless they they're not going to put it on pay-per-view, but maybe they do like an iPay-per-view from there. That'd be pretty sweet for Field of Honor. But Ring of Honor's bringing in New Japan guys. I'm trying to think who they are. Rainmaker? Nakamura? I can't remember the third guy. I don't have the thing in front of me. But we got a few months ago, so it'll be announced in more. Unless it's talking about Time Splitters, but I don't think so. And I already met him and got everything well. And plus, they're going to do that. Probably going to do like a meet and greet before. Ring of Honor always does that. It'd be great to get some of these guys' autographs. But that's going to be Ring of Honor, and that's in Brooklyn, New York. And that's probably 2,000 people. It's going to be there, which is perfect for something like Ring of Honor. These smaller venues, these more intimate settings, actually make the product, I'm not going to say more believable, I'm trying to stay kayfabe, but the passion is almost one-on-one, where now don't get me wrong, WWE deserves to be in these large arenas, 15, 20, 75,000 for WrestleMania, almost 100,000 hopefully for WrestleMania 32. That's deserving of those crowds. But NXT, Ring of Honor, even TNA, smaller venues. With that being said, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, New York is in the Barclays Center. Now, nothing's been announced official, but I'm assuming they're selling tickets for the entire place. And the Barclays holds, 13,000? let's say maybe 12 with wrestling because, they cut off a quarter of the arena. So let's say 12,000 people for NXT, plus that giant, going to have the giant set already, set up for SummerSlam and then Raw. For NXT, and again, this is nothing bad against NXT, but I don't think NXT should be in that big of a venue. During WrestleMania weekend, they did a place with 5,000. I think that's probably where they should cap off before it gets too big and that intimacy is gone. If they try and sell out, I'm sure they will, but if they try and sell out the Barclays Center for NXT, that's not NXT. That's just a WWE show draped in yellow because of the colors of NXT. If they maybe sell half the tickets, maybe sell like 3,000 to 5,000 tickets, that's cool. That I think would be worth it. But hopefully they won't try and sell it out. And that's right there pretty much the reason why I'm not looking to sell my Ring of Honor tickets. Because I think NXT is just going to it's going to feel too big. It's going to feel like a small fish, in a large pond, whatever the saying is. It's going to take away from it just a little bit. Again, one person, one member of the WWE universe. It's my opinion. But I encourage anyone, if you're in the New York area, if you're in the Brooklyn area, get tickets to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, New York. If they're sold out, or if you don't want to go to NXT, get tickets to Ring of Honor, Field of Honor. Both are Saturday, August 22nd. Both are at, 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish. Get your tickets now. And that's pretty much about it. TNA, they're on like a 5-week tape delay, TNA. Ethan Carter III just won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Good for EC3. But a friend of mine was telling me, I don't know how accurate this is, they taped like 5 weeks of shows, and in the middle of that, they did Slammiversary, which was live. Which is why there was no title match, which is probably why they did the King of the Mountain Championship. TNA, I don't know where they're going. Jeff Jarrett's back in TNA. He was promoting his Global Force Wrestling. Is there a working relationship between TNA and GFW? Maybe. Is it like a merger of some sort? I don't know if you can call it a merger. Global Force just started. But Global Force got us, via Global Force, we got Wrestle Kingdom 9 from Tokyo, Japan back in January. So unless Jeff Jarrett's pulling strings and trying to get as many, almost like his version of the old NWA, all these separate territories under one umbrella, that could be the only way maybe to compete with Vince and the WWE. Only time will tell. Until then, folks, thank you very much for joining here. Again, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. And be safe, be well, be kind to each other. I'll see you next time. See you later, folks.